My kids were embarrassed by it, and I, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't.
Next on Newsmax Prime, Marco's mea culpa. Too little, too late? Refining the rhetoric at tonight's Republican debate. Will it redefine the race heading into next Tuesday? Also ahead, refusing to call it what it is. Christian genocide in the Mideast and continued silence from our State Department. With foggy bottoms so flummoxed, has that emboldened China to crack down on Christians there? You've come here to the right source for news, and Newsmax Prime starts right now. Good evening and welcome to Newsmax Prime. I'm J.D. Hayworth. Of prime interest tonight, pursuing the presidency like a prize fighter. Poised for another war of words in tonight's GOP debate, frontrunner Donald Trump compares next Tuesday's primary to climbing in the ring.
I think so, yeah. I think if I win those two, I think it's over. I mean, we just have better policies. The country is sick and tired of what they're seeing. The country is sick and tired of these politicians that talk, and it's all talk, no action, and they're tired of it.
You think you'll get all the delegates?
I think so, yeah. I really think so. I don't see the convention going that route. I see probably getting the delegates. It's like the fighters. That's the ultimate way of doing it. You knock them out. If you knock them out, nothing can happen.
Going for the KO, huh? Well, for more on this story, we're pleased to be joined via Skype from Raleigh, North Carolina, by Republican media strategist Marc Rotterman. Marc also served as a member of Ronald Reagan's campaign team in 1980. He's Skyping in, as I mentioned, from Raleigh. North Carolina has, 73 delegates up for grabs. Sometimes that's lost in the translation. You already know Ohio is a crucial state. And Skyping in from the Queen City of the West, Cincinnati, our good friend Ken Blackwell. Ken, the former mayor of Cincinnati, former Secretary of State of Ohio, currently senior fellow at the Family Research Council. Gents, we both very much appreciate your time here on Newsmax Prime. Ken, first to you. Tonight's debate takes place just 5 days before Super Duper Tuesday. Obviously, winner take all in Ohio. You heard Donald Trump. Do you think Trump is unstoppable, Ken?
I think Trump will be stopped in Ohio. The only question is how much of this has been baked in the cake through early voting. Kasich's team says that they had an early voting strategy. They have a superior ground game. He's a popular governor. I think he will take Trump narrowly in Ohio. Go to Marco in Florida. He has a steeper hill to climb. And I think he's rolling the dice, so to speak, at Trump Casino. He is, in fact, betting his future that he can win Florida. I think if Marco loses Florida, he has short-circuited his promising political career.
Well, to further demonstrate just how tough it is for Marco Rubio and how far his campaign has fallen, Byron York of the Washington Examiner tweeted out this picture of a Rubio rally in Hialeah, one of the areas where he was expected to have a big crowd. It's in a football stadium that seats thousands. Everybody was able to fit into one end zone. Only hundreds of people. Marc Rotterman, you're on the ground in North Carolina. Obviously, there's a lot of interest in Florida, but whether it's North Carolina or Florida or Ohio or elsewhere, is Rubio done?
I think it is all over but the crying, JD. I think he went out of character when he went negative. He had a Jack Kemp Reagan-like message when he was talking about the children of the Reagan Revolution, and I think that last debate really hurt him. It was out of character for him. He wasn't positive. He went negative. And frankly, you just can't get into the gutter with Trump and come out clean. And that's what happened. People give pass. The blue collar give Trump a pass on that, but they didn't give Marco a pass.
Ken Blackwell, to you. Al Cardenas, who of course was longtime GOP chairman in Florida, is saying what you said earlier, that if Rubio continues and loses badly, he is finished. Ken, if you were advising Marco Rubio, would you say now's the time to pack it in before Super Duper Tuesday?
Yes, I would have told him right after the last set of primaries and his dismal showing to cut his losses and root on you know Ted Cruz to be the one-on-one candidate with Donald Trump. Look, when it's all said and done, I don't believe Trump is going to be 10, 40, 60 votes short of the delegates needed. I think he'll be a couple hundred short. And as a consequence, I think we will have a contested primary. And it's going to be very interesting to see. I don't see a path to the presidency or the nomination for John Kasich, but if he wins Ohio, he's going to have a lot of capital, and the convention is in his home state, and he'll have a big bargaining chip. I'm not sure that he won't throw in with Trump, but if he doesn't throw in with Trump, I think he will bargain for the vice president's post on a non-Trump ticket.
Mark, you were quoted in a recent New York Post article saying it's a two-man race between Trump and Cruz, but you say that Donald Trump has tapped into the anxiety of blue-collar workers and the middle class. Would you fill in the blanks on that theory for us?
Well, I think that the blue collar and the middle class have been ignored by the DC establishment donor class. And it's very hard for the donor class to relate when they're making $1 million a year on K Street, and the average family in Ohio's, making 40, 50 grand and struggling to get ahead. So I think there's a huge disconnect, and frankly, they've just ignored the blue collar.
There's been so much speculation, still so many moving parts, even though the picture is clearing up.
Where they've been out of work for a long time, or they've lost their jobs due to these trade deals. I'll be honest with you. I think that he's going to overperform in Ohio.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, back to Marco Rubio. Ken Blackwell, you were talking about vice president. Marco was asked if he would be interested in taking the number 2 spot on a ticket with Donald Trump. Let's listen to his answer.
I'm not running for vice president. I'm not looking to be anyone's vice president. I want to be the president of the United States.
Be Shermanesque about it then. Can you be Shermanesque about it?
Yeah, I'm not going to be the vice president.
If he offers it, if Donald Trump offers you the slot, you will say no.
I'm not interested in being Donald Trump's or anybody else's vice president. That's not what I'm aiming at.
You didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I'll say no. I don't want to be the vice president of the United States.
And
I'm not
if Donald
working
Trump
to do
asks,
that.
you say no.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what he's saying now, but given where he is in terms of a career path, Ken Blackwell, do you think he might change his mind? About 30 seconds.
There's a possibility that he will change his mind. I think the person whose stock went up as a VP pick was Carly Fiorina. It's going to be very interesting. Marco will probably be on a Trump shortlist if Trump wins the nomination. But I'm not sure that having stayed in, that Trump will make that offer.
We will have to leave it there. Ken Blackwell in Cincinnati, Marc Rotterman in Raleigh, North Carolina. Gentlemen, you have our thanks.
Thank you, sir.